From WFRV TV Local 5, Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore, this is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning. Welcome to Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. UW Green Bay is trying to even the playing field for women with a program that helps women professionally and personally. The Institute for Women's Leadership was founded some 3 years ago, and to talk about that this morning, one of the founders of the program, Bridget O'Connor, and Jess Lambrecht with the university's Continuing Education and Community Engagement. Ladies, both of you, good morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Great to be with you, Tom.
We have a big, long title here, the Institute for Women's Leadership. What is that?
The Institute for Women's Leadership is an opportunity for women to gather, network, learn, and really support one another in their professional journey. And it's housed with the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. And
the program started, I said at the top of the show, three years ago. How did the program get its start?
Well, it really started through the idea of Cheryl Van Grusen, who was serving as the first chancellor, woman chancellor at UWGB, albeit as an interim. And when she finished that role, she wanted to do something special to further advance women professionals and women in leadership. And while she was thinking about that, separately and across town, I was doing the same thing, as I own a small marketing communication firm, O'Connor Connective. And some of the clients that we serve are women executives, and we started some programs to help, and we brought those things all together, and that was the impetus for the Institute.
So why did the program get started in the first place? I mean, why did it need to be created? What was happening? What was going on out there? What wasn't right that we needed to do something?
Well, as you can imagine, in the time of COVID, right, women were leaving the workforce at significant rates, much higher than men, to provide for childcare or aging parents. So it was a very challenging time for women in the workforce. And so we needed to be able to support each other and to really help advocate for women. We also know that we have significantly less women are in executive level positions. And so as a regional community and as a higher education institution, we needed to advocate for that and help bring women together and with business and communication to really figure out how can we help elevate and what do we need to be able to do that successfully.
So any idea how many people are taking part in your program?
Yeah, in the last year we've had over 1,500 participants within our annual event, our monthly programming, our casual conversations, our certificates. I mean, we really have a wide range to really meet everyone's needs.
So you have all these events going on and avenues that people can take part in. What's been the response from your participants over these past years?
It's just been really outstanding. And the biggest thing is that women are there to support one another. And they have an opportunity to be able to learn and to be in a safe space and a safe place to be able to talk about issues that are unique to them in their professional adventures. So maybe it's trying to build confidence in a particular area, to talk about and learn about how to negotiate. It might be to have the courage to be able to try for that next position, that next rung up the ladder. It's pretty exciting.
Who are these people? Who are the people that are taking part in your?
By and large, most of them are working women, right, in mid-level positions who are looking to advance. But the cool part is we're also making sure to be intentional in inviting our students along as well, right, as our female students need continuous support and encouragement as they prepare towards graduation. So it's really bringing our students together with working professionals, executive leaders who are really all trying to vie for the same thing, and that's career success.
So does the program offer any classes? Is it anything where you can get student credit for?
Yes,
how does that work?
Both. Again, versatility is really important in our offerings, and so we have some credit-bearing programs where students can earn a certificate in women's leadership, but we also have a non-credit program that's intended to be during the daytime for working professionals on a much more casual or a smaller scale offering. So.
Yeah, I think the short version, Tom, is at any stage and place of your career or where you're at in your life, there's a place for women in this program.
Do you ever get women who have been in the workforce for some period of time? I'll say older women. Do they say to you, where were you before?
Yeah,
if we had only had you years
I think
ago.
there's a lot of that, and in some places, even in my career, I mean, I wish I had this when I was getting started and when I was dealing with some issues that I just wasn't really sure how to handle on my own. But this now gives the opportunity for women to be able to say, hey, we're not alone. We do have resources, and I'm going to reach out and see where and how that might be helpful for me as I take this next step.
Do you conduct any research, and if you do, what does that tell you about what people are looking for, what they want, how this is helping them?
Great question. We've already conducted one research study about 1.5 years ago to really evaluate what's happening here in Northeast Wisconsin, but that was during a time of COVID. So we're actually preparing to launch a new research study here this fall that will help us take another regional look at what we're doing. But we have paid attention to what's happening in the state and in the nation with women in particular in various leadership roles, which has been really helpful for us to be able to navigate and understand how can we best serve this region.
So what are you finding out?
Yeah, Milwaukee Women Inc. does a research project as well that tells us that women hold about 26% of director seats in Wisconsin's top 50 public companies, and women executives hold about 26% of public company leadership positions. So that says while we're making progress, and we do have some executives throughout Wisconsin, we have a ways to go to be able to get gender equity in the workforce. And locally, we know that, whether that's from pay scales or percentages of women in positions above middle management. And so we know we have an opportunity. And really what we're doing is to be able to work with women and men, male mentors and male supervisors and owners of businesses to be able to say, look, 50% of the workforce out there is women. They achieve college education at a faster rate, at a higher rate than our male counterparts, and we have an opportunity to be able to really fill those leadership positions for our community in a really exciting way. And we just need to look at things a little bit differently.
Are you feeling a different need, a need for the people who are in the workforce already and the need of the women who are on campus about to go into the workforce?
Our programming is designed to be tailored towards those two populations.
Or those two.
Yep. So our credit bearing program is intended for our students to really understand what are they preparing for, what are they going to be entering into as they enter the workforce, and then differently, right? Our individuals who are participating in our non-credit spaces tend to be those who are already working and navigating some challenges or issues or colleagues that they need to have thoughtful conversations with.
Women in the workforce. We have much more to come, so please stay right there. Back now with Bridget O'Connor and Jess Lambrecht, learning about the Institute for Women's Leadership. You got a big event coming up on April the 20th, your annual celebration. What goes on there? Tell us about that.
Oh, we're so excited about it. We're bringing in a national keynote speaker, Maria Atencio, who is a broadcast journalist in her own right, and we'll be speaking on being your authentic self and really being true and honest to your own goals and needs and how to advocate appropriately for that. So we're expecting a really large crowd. Close to 500 participants will be there, men and women, being energized and inspired and encouraged to continue to live authentically.
Now, have you had this before? Is this your third year of doing it?
We had a large celebration last year in which we were all able to gather at the Widener. We'll do that again this time. It's wonderful networking. We do have the keynote speaker that Jess talked about that's made possible by Capital Credit Union, so we're so grateful for that. And then we also have really, the two of us will be sharing some information that we learned throughout the year from the women that participate in the workshops and programs. Jess and I lead, we both are hosts of two separate initiatives that are available for women to participate. Caffeinated Conversations and Stories from Experience. These are opportunities where women can come and learn about other women and talk intentionally about key topics that we bring up.
So what specifically will you be talking about?
At the event?
Yeah.
What the major event will be highlighting kind of what we've learned over the last year. We host on a monthly basis caffeinated conversations. We feature various topics, how to advocate, negotiation, confidence building, imposter syndrome, things that are really plaguing women in the workspace.
Negotiating.
And so we offer those in a virtual and an in-person setting throughout the 16-county footprint. And we come together and dialogue about a rich topic that's important. And we read prior to and come to dialogue really to be more effective in our workspaces.
You're doing it more from a business standpoint.
Right. So we also have a program called Stories from Experience, and that's an opportunity for us to tap into the expertise and the experience of women leaders in our community. Tomorrow, we will be featuring Gabrielle Dow, who is an executive with the Green Bay Packers, and she will be talking about her professional journey, where she started, how she made it to where she is. And we do that about every other month with a different executive woman in the community, and I get to play Tom Zalaski and ask all the questions.
I'm going to loan you a suit.
That's great. I would love that.
Tell me more about the keynote speaker. What is she speaking about? What will her topic be?
So again, be really focused on being authentic.
And what does that mean, being authentic?
Yeah, good question. It's really being true, right? Being able to advocate appropriately for new projects, new initiatives within an organization. If you want to start your own business, how are you going to do that? Who do you need to connect with? And to be really encouraged with other people who want to support everyone else's success.
Yeah, we know that right now is a really interesting time for women professionals. Post-COVID, we're really evaluating, what do we want to do with our lives? Where do we want to work? How do we want to prioritize things? And when we gather, that'll be part of the theme of what we'll be talking about, to be phenomenal, be a phenomenal woman who's authentic in finding where our career fits in with our life and how we can continue to contribute to the community in a really meaningful and powerful way.
So what kind of turnout do you get? Are you expecting?
We're hoping for 500.
500.
We're going to have a full house.
And how about tickets? Is it online?
Yeah,
do you contact GB? How does that all happen?
Yep, so you visit the UWGB website and you put in the search Women's Leadership, and you'll be able to land on that page very easily, or contact the campus directly and we'll be happy to help you navigate. We're certainly working with businesses to do group tickets as well, if that's easier for an organization, as we do offer a membership structure with our programming. Otherwise, as an individual, we invite all to come along and bring their spouses, significant others, even their young daughters, right? I think it's so important that we help also advocate and support our youth as they're looking to navigate into the workspace too eventually.
And Tom, men are welcome to come and be a part, because absolutely this is really a collaboration with male professionals, women professionals, to be able to see how do we further advance what we can do here in Greater Green Bay and up and down the Lake Shore. What are the things that we can do together, and how do we collectively advance women in the workplace?
All right, we have much more to come, so please stay right there. Back now with Bridget O'Connor and Jess Lambrecht, learning about the Institute for Women's Leadership. Women can become members of the Institute. What does that get them? How do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so we have two types of membership. The first one being our business membership, where we're really working with organizations who maybe have an employee resource group, or ERG, to help support women in the workplace, but maybe don't have capacity to offer all the programming that they want to. And so one of our great business partners is Imperial Supplies here locally, and they continue to send their employee base to our virtual programming and our in-person programming at no additional cost, so that their female employees and men can participate fully. And then we also have individual membership, maybe for the small business owner or the individual who just wants to engage as they're able to. So both available offerings, and it just makes it so much easier for them to come and go at their leisure and what it is that they're looking for.
Let me get into a couple of issues here on this topic. What are the biggest challenges that women face in the workplace today?
I would say what we're learning through our programs, our conversations with women, is that first of all, it's about how do they set priorities. Priorities given the demands upon them. You know, women in the workplace also have in general, are likely picking up the majority of the tasks at home or with kids and family. They may be helping with an older generation, so they may be sandwiched a bit in between helping with aging parents and with children. They're in the workforce, and they're also trying to figure out what is it that brings them the most alignment with what they feel is their purpose. How do they find that? What might they do? How do they then apply that in a way that can really be well received in the environment in which they choose to work? They're also, when they're ready to go on to that next step, we have a tendency as women to hold back a little bit and maybe not apply for that next job until we have all the boxes checked, right? where our male colleagues might just go for it and say, you know what, I can learn that on the job. So some of what we're doing is talking to women about having the confidence to go for it, right? And also aligning themselves with other people who can really be a support, advocates, mentors, sponsors, to really give them that courage to say, yep, I'm ready, and it's time.
So these are issues that women can rely on you for.
Absolutely.
These questions, like they're not out there by themselves alone wondering how to do
That's
this.
exactly it. That's one of the biggest pieces of the Institute, is that we have women that are teaching the certificate programs. We have women that are leading the sessions. We have women that are coming in as mentors. And really, you're getting a well-rounded perspective when you come with your questions or your concerns or you're not sure where to go. And so we really do encourage, no matter where women are at in their professional journey, come to the April 20th event to just check it out and see what this is all about, to see where and how you might fit in, and what might be possible.
We often hear about the pay disparity between men and women for the same job. We know it exists. Why does it happen? How does it happen? How do companies get away with that?
Well, it might happen right away at your very first job. You might be paid a little bit less, and then you might not want to negotiate for a higher salary. You might just take what they offer rather than negotiating to be able to go a little bit. And over time, over your career, that can really, really add up. We're taught to be nice when we're little.
Yeah, so not negotiating. Is that a woman thing, not pushing?
We don't know how to advocate as well for ourselves, right? And we don't know how to raise our hand as strongly when we're ready for a new project or a task. We wait to be asked, right? We're humble in that way. Let me know when you think I'm ready, when we need to come to the table and say, I'm ready for the next thing. And so we have to give our women in our region the tools and resources to be able to do that with confidence and realize that sometimes the answer is yes and sometimes the answer is not right now. So how can we be best prepared to have those conversations and again, do it with confidence.
So many times we hear the phrase glass ceiling broken. First woman astronaut, the new Supreme Court justice. Is the ceiling broken, or did you finally reach the ceiling but you haven't busted through it yet?
Well, I think it really depends on the industry. It depends on the roles. It depends on what we're talking about. I mean, you know, in March when it was the, Women's History Month, we learned all kinds of things about how there's still gender disparity around the world on so many fronts. Here in America, we're making great strides. In particular, here in Wisconsin, there are really wonderful things happening. When I was born, only 5% of only 5% of American businesses were owned by women. Today, we have almost 40%. So that's a huge shift. However, the percentage of businesses that women owned are mostly solopreneurs. They really are just employed by themselves. We're seeing some strides in the revenues that they're earning, but we still have a long way to be able to get to an equitable place as it relates to business ownership. That same thing is true on senior executive positions. I mean, just think about and look around at the companies here that you might imagine. What percentage of women are sitting around the board table? What percentage of women are at the executive seat? What percentage of women are helping make the policies and the decisions around benefits and what flexibility women in the workplace have? Those are some of the questions that we ask, but we also, in general, want to help women become advocates for themselves so that they can find the right place for them as we further advance Greater Green Bay and the region.
We are back to wrap up right after this, so stay right there. Back now with Bridget O'Connor and Jess Lambrecht, learning more about the Institute for Women's Leadership. We talked earlier about the April 20th big annual event you have, and there's another incentive for people to come to the annual event, which you can't tell me about.
I tell you, Tom, it's an exciting time here in Northeast Wisconsin and for UW Green Bay. We do have a very big announcement that we will be showcasing on April 20th and what it is that we're launching next. So I invite all, again, men and women from our region to participate and join us for that celebration. I should also note that we recognize distance is a factor. We'll also be live streaming our event in Sheboygan in partnership with our Sheboygan County Chamber friends, Professional Women's Connection. So if folks folks are not able to participate and get to Green Bay, please, again, continue to connect with us, and we'll make sure that you have a way to join.
What do you recommend for men who are looking to become advocates? What would they do as an advocate?
I love that question. Well, I would suggest simply talk to us about what our goals might be. What are we trying to accomplish? What is it that we're looking to do in our career? And then partner with us, be advocates or supporters. You know, nominate us for a new position. Invite us to come to a meeting. Give us an extra project that we might be able to prove our skill set and really be able to help an organization. And then simply advocate for those that are their colleagues, regardless of who they are, men, women, age, doesn't matter. Advocate for everyone.
Got about a minute left here. Let me ask you, what don't men get about women in the workplace?
I would simply say they just don't know our lived experience, and to no fault of their own. They have their experience, and we do have a different experience. We were raised in different ways, perhaps. You know, that notion I mentioned before, to be nice, to make sure that everybody gets along. And that's a tricky balance then when you want to be assertive and stand up for yourself, right? So there's this line that we have to balance every day in the workplace. And that's not something that men necessarily need to think about all day. But we might. And also the priority is upon us of what's going on at home. That might be a little bit more of something that's on our minds throughout the day.
And when a woman is assertive, it's taken as something other than being assertive.
And we talk about that, right? The
Yeah.
likability scale.
Yeah.
If we're too strong in one way or too soft. It's a tricky balance for women.
Ladies, thank you so much. Best of luck with the April 20th event.
Thank
We
you.
hope we see you there.
Nice to have you here. I just might surprise you.
Sounds great, Tom.
If
Thank you.
If you have a newsmaker in your town you think we should have on the show, let us know about it. Send us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com, or you can message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7:30. Until then, have a great day.